Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Yes, I am uploading again. I have not uploaded in a while. I've been taking a massive break from YouTube in general, but now I'm back and I've got loads and loads of videos planned for August, so stay tuned for those. But for today's video, I'm going to be talking about my job hunting experience during summer, because I wanted to get a job over summer to make some money and get experience. And I've been looking for one this entire time, whilst obviously I took breaks and had fun, all that stuff. And spoiler alert, I've got a job at McDonald's, so that's great. But there was a lot of preparation and just a lot of stuff I had to do, not for the McDonald's job, but for all the jobs that I was applying for. And yeah, it was just a long and tedious process until I got this job, so I'm going to be talking about all of that. So I think it was on June 17th, which was right after my physics exam. At that time I decided, okay, I'm definitely going to start looking for a job now, seriously. So there was a McDonald's that was very close to me, like walking distance, and I applied there. And at the time I was like, oh, it's going to be easy. They're going to be like, okay, come in for an interview, do the interview, you get the job. They did not reply for weeks. At the time I thought they should reply in a few days and boom, everything will continue really quickly. But I was inexperienced. I did not know how it would be. So I was waiting, and I waited for quite a while. And whilst I waited, like maybe after a week, after GCSEs had officially been completed, I was like, okay, I can't wait this long. Let me apply for other jobs. So I downloaded Indeed and started looking for jobs. I also made a CV. I didn't really know how to make a CV at that time, but I just followed stuff online and some advice Indeed gave and just made my own CV and just used that for all my jobs. Although McDonald's doesn't require a CV, you just answer stuff on there, but I'll get to that later. So I applied for a KFC next, and what didn't help was that the KFC replied like a day later saying that I've got an interview in a few days, I'm pretty sure. And it was just like, so they must answer quickly. That McDonald's must be an anomaly. So then I had the thought that every other job would just give me an interview that quickly. Obviously that was not the case, but I digress. I was preparing for that KFC interview by just watching videos, looking online, seeing stuff that I should say to certain questions and what answers I have to make. And I did the interview. It was alright, I guess. My first interview, so I don't really know it was fine. It was average. Although the person who was interviewing me did tell me that I was competing with 17 other people, so that wasn't fun. And I didn't get the job, obviously, but it was an alright interview. I was asked questions that I expected and stuff. After that interview and getting rejected, I was like, okay, so I've got to do some other stuff. Oh, by the way, when they like either say you've been rejected or been accepted, it usually just takes a few days, which is a good thing. But anyways, yeah, so I was like, okay, I need to start looking for other jobs. So on Indeed, I just started applying for loads and loads and loads of jobs. And I think by now I probably have applied for over 100, no exaggeration. And I applied for stuff like being a barista, a crew member at other McDonald's. I applied for other McDonald's. Applying for McDonald's was quite tedious because you had to do the process of like, oh, why do you want to work there and stuff, and write it all down again because they didn't take CVs. So it was quite tedious, but I did it for many McDonald's. And I applied for many other jobs: barista, crew member, kitchen member, cook, front of house staff, waiter, all that stuff. And it was just a process. Sometimes I'd get so many emails. Sometimes they would just be like, oh, you've applied for this job and we'll get back to you in however many days or weeks. And sometimes there would be rejections, sometimes there would be more rejections, because in this entire process, I got, excluding McDonald's interviews, because I'm going to get to that later, I got three interviews throughout the entire process. 2 were for KFC, in which one was the one at the start, and one that was cancelled for some reason and just never happened. And then one was for Pizza Hut, which happened really recently after I got the McDonald's job, which was unfortunate, but whatever. But then apart from that, I did get loads of interviews. I got loads of interviews for McDonald's, as in I applied for loads of McDonald's and I got an interview from every single one of them except the McDonald's that was close to me. So that was good. Although all of them were like really far away, so I had to continue applying for jobs whilst I waited and prepared for those interviews. I was mostly looking for jobs that let me do 30 hours per week, because obviously it's summer, I've got a lot of time to burn off, so I was just looking for high amounts of hours, but also part-time. And I was going to obviously decrease those hours exponentially when school started, but for now, I wanted to do a lot of hours. And on some job websites, it was extremely difficult to apply because they just, I don't know, that they need some companies need to fix their websites because they just don't work when you're applying. It's quite annoying. For example, many of the cafe companies, just the application process just didn't work, and I just had to give up half the time because I tried applying like 5 different times and then it just wouldn't work. Throughout this entire process, I had the help of my friend Adam to just in terms of applying, because he was also applying for many jobs and we were just helping each other like through application process and stuff, especially the McDonald's ones. He got an interview for McDonald's after me. Oh wait, I think I should explain this part first. I got an interview for McDonald's really, really early, but I was in Italy, and the interview, they sent me an interview time, they told me come in for this interview today, and I was in Italy, so I obviously couldn't do that. But near that same time, my friend also got an interview, and at McDonald's. But so we were waiting for that. We were waiting for him to have that interview. Once he got that interview, I thought I was prepared. I thought I was prepared for all the McDonald's questions. I'd already prepared, and we had both prepared. I thought he'd be fine, because he's much more intellectually smart than I am. So I thought he'd be fine. He'd get the job. It'd be pretty easy, because McDonald's is a different breed. He did not get the job, unfortunately, but what we both did learn was that there were so many questions that we just weren't prepared for them to ask. And that's probably why I didn't get the interview, because he wasn't prepared for many of the questions. But when I heard the questions that he said, I was like, where are these questions coming from? I didn't expect any of them. Luckily, we used that as like a learning process. I got all of the questions that he got and put them on a document and wrote answers for each of them. And it really helped, definitely, because when the McDonald's interview came, most of the questions that came up in his interview came up in my interview, and I already had answers prepared for them, so it was quite good. There was still some questions. I think there was one question which I wasn't prepared for, but I kind of waffled about that question and still got the job, so yay. And yeah, it was just a good learning process and experience to have someone else do an interview you know all the questions they got, so you can make answers and stuff. At a time, both of us got so desperate to get a job, we stopped applying. No, we continued applying for part-time, but then we also added in applying for full-time jobs because we were so desperate for a job. And I also applied for many full-time McDonald's jobs, which I also got interviews for as well. But in terms of McDonald's interviews, obviously today, actually, on the day I'm filming this, I'm planning to call up every single McDonald's that has given me an interview and ask them to like take it down, because obviously I've already got a McDonald's job, which I haven't started yet. I'm starting in a few weeks after NCS, by the way. There's going to be a vlog for NCS, so stay tuned for that. After NCS, I'll start at my McDonald's. So today I'm going to decline all the interviews that I've already got from McDonald's. In terms of my friend Adam, he got an interview at a place called Prezzo. I don't know if that's like a place that is all across the UK or in other places or just where I live, but he got an interview there, and he said it went well, and then he also got a mock or a trial shift in which he just did a shift, and they just watched him, I guess, and he's competing with 2 other people, so hopefully he gets that job. And yeah, now my job hunting experience is over. I can delete Indeed, although I'm not going to. I'm just going to keep it, just, I don't know, in case. And yeah, it is all done, and I'm just going to wait with anticipation until I can start working at McDonald's. Obviously, with McDonald's, there's a lot of training you have to do. Like, once you get the job, you start doing some training. It takes around, I don't really know what it takes around, but you start doing some training. And I've also got a training day on Friday in which I have to do some training there as well. But the training isn't hard. It's just, it's standard. It's fine. It's not hard training. But yeah, I've got a job now. That is really all. That is my experience. Overall, if I was to rate this experience, I would say 7 out of 10, because for many of the McDonald's, not every single one, for many of the McDonald's I applied to, I got interviews, which was good. But it took a long time. Many of the interviews, like one of my interviews is during NCS, so that wasn't fun to know, but it was a phone interview, luckily. But obviously we don't care about that anymore. And yeah, that's the process. So this is the end of the video. I've got many other videos coming, so stay tuned for those, because August is going to be really busy for me in terms of getting back to school, get ready for school, sixth form and stuff. So yeah, stay tuned. And yeah, remember to like, subscribe, and comment if you're hunting for any jobs and if you got any. And yeah, goodbye.